Here is the complete story of Prophet Dawud, David, peace be upon him, covering his journey from a young shepherd to a powerful king and a revered prophet. 1. The Young Shepherd and the Giant. The story begins during a time of intense conflict between the Israelites and the Philistines. The Israelites were led by King Jalut, Saul, while the Philistines possessed a terrifying secret weapon, a towering, heavily armored giant named Jalut, Goliath. Jalut challenged any warrior from the Israelite army to a one-on-one duel to decide the war, but everyone was paralyzed by fear. Dawud was just a young shepherd boy at the time, whose job was to bring food to his older brothers serving in the army. When he arrived at the battlefield, he was shocked to see the entire army trembling before the giant. Filled with deep faith in Allah, young Dawud stepped forward and volunteered to fight. King Jalut offered Dawud his armor and sword, but they were too heavy for the boy. Instead, Dawud chose to face the giant with only his wooden shepherd's staff, a simple leather sling, 5 smooth stones he picked up from the valley floor. When Jalut saw the boy, he mocked him. But Dawud replied with unwavering courage, stating that he came not with a sword or spear, but in the name of God. Dawud placed a stone in his sling, whirled it with precise skill, and released it. The stone struck Goliath square in the forehead, cracking his skull. The giant collapsed, and the Philistine army fled in terror. 2. From general to king. Following this miraculous victory, Dawud's popularity skyrocketed. King Jalut appointed him as the commander of the army and gave him his daughter's hand in marriage. Dawud proved to be an exceptionally wise and successful military strategist, winning the deep love and respect of the people. However, over time, King Jalut grew fiercely jealous of Dawud's growing fame and feared he would lose his throne. Recognizing the danger, Dawud left the kingdom and lived in exile for years, showing immense patience and refusing to harm the king out of respect for his leadership. After King Jalut eventually passed away in a separate battle, the people unanimously chose Dawud to be their new king. King Dawud united the kingdom and established Jerusalem as its capital, ruling with absolute justice. 3. The Prophet and the Divine Miracles. Allah did not just grant Dawud worldly kingship, he also blessed him with prophethood and unique divine miracles, mujizat. The Zabur, Psalms. Allah revealed a holy book to Dawud called the Zabur. It contained beautiful hymns, prayers, and praises dedicated entirely to God. A voice of pure melody, Dawud was blessed with an incredibly beautiful voice. When he stood to recite the Zabur in the mornings and evenings, the birds would stop flying and gather above him, and even the mountains would echo and join in his praises of Allah. Malleable iron, Allah softened iron for Dawud, allowing it to melt and bend in his hands like warm wax or clay without needing a furnace or a hammer. The inventor of chainmail, using his gift with iron, Dawud revolutionized armor. Before him, soldiers wore heavy metal plates that severely restricted movement. Dawud invented lightweight, interlocking rings of iron, chainmail, providing both protection and agility for his troops. 4. The ruler of justice and labor. Despite being a wealthy and powerful king, Prophet Dawud maintained incredible humility. Self-reliance, he refused to take any wealth from the public treasury, Bait al-Mal, for his personal use. Instead, he lived entirely off the income he made by crafting and selling chainmail armor with his own hands. Unmatched devotion. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, later praised Dawud's worship, noting that he observed the most beloved fasts and prayers to Allah. He would sleep for half the night, pray for a third, and sleep for the remaining sixth. Furthermore, he fasted every other day, fasting of Dawud. As a judge, Dawud was famous for his deep wisdom. One famous Quranic lesson involves 2 men who climbed over his private chamber walls to settle a dispute regarding one man owning 99 ewes, sheep, and demanding the single ewe owned by his brother. Dawud immediately ruled in favor of the man with 1 sheep, but quickly realized this was a divine test regarding his own judgments and rushed to prostrate, seeking Allah's forgiveness. 5. The Legacy, Prophet Suleiman. Prophet Dawud ruled justly for 40 years. As he grew old, he noticed the exceptional wisdom of his young son, Solomon. Even as a child, Sulayman would occasionally offer brilliant alternative legal judgments that left the elders amazed. Recognizing that his son was chosen by Allah, Dawud prepared Sulayman to inherit both the kingdom and the prophethood. When Prophet Dawud passed away at a ripe old age, Sulayman succeeded him, going on to build an even grander kingdom that integrated both the human and unseen worlds. Today, Prophet Dawud is remembered in Islam as the ultimate archetype of the king prophet. A man who held absolute worldly power and immense wealth, yet remained entirely humble, just, and deeply devoted to the service of God.